People are turning to a unique wireless company, one that limits your cost without limiting you. Cricket respects you and your wallet like nobody else with $35 a month unlimited talk, text, and U.S. long distance. There are no contracts to sign or overages on America's most affordable 3G network. Just call 1-800-353-6658. Click mycricket.com or come into a Cricket store today and get all this for just $35 a month. Isn't it time you and your wallet got a little... Come in today for a new web-capable phone starting at $49.99. Just call, click, or stop by. Get respect for your wallet. Respect for you.
Friday at 11. Click that coupon and you could be caught.
This has been one nightmare of an experience.
ABC2 works for you. We'll show you the difference between real savings and a scam that could cost you big. Friday on your Set, Net, and Sell. Baltimore's most accurate forecast, certified by WeatherRate, only on ABC2.
Afternoon showers for the Northeast. Thunderstorms continue in the south with the chance of flooding from eastern Texas to Tennessee. Thunderstorms also from Denver to Des Moines and into the southeast.
Another record high for Seattle, getting up to 99. Portland hits 98, Sacramento 87, just 69 in Fargo and 70 in Minneapolis. Boston and New York climb into the 80s. It's 93 in Miami, 90 in New Orleans, and 89 in Dallas.
So it's hotter in Portland than it is Dallas today.
I know. My parents will be happy.
How about that? Well, if you think you ever had big shoes to fill, just get a load of this.
It is the world's largest boot, size 638.5D. It is 12 feet long and 16 feet tall. The gigantic boot was made by a Minnesota shoe company a few years ago, but it was moved on a custom-made trailer this week from the factory to the company's new store and to the museum.
I know you were wondering, the boot weighs more than a ton. Be a perfect fit for a person who stands about 120 feet tall.
That's a big shoe.
They didn't really use leather for that, I wouldn't think. A lot of cows would have to die for that.
Can you imagine the price on that thing if it's real leather?
And imagine the odor eater you'd have to buy to fit into that thing.
It makes Shaquille O'Neal's shoe jealous.
It does, right? We'll be right back.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
World News Now weather brought to you by the Scooter Store.
You keep lying when you ought to be truthing.
Attention, all Medicare beneficiaries who need assistance getting around their homes. There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you. Stay tuned for this important Medicare benefit information and free scooter guarantee. Imagine one scooter or power chair that could improve your mobility and your life. One Medicare benefit that with private insurance may entitle you to pay little to nothing to own it. One company that can make it all happen.
Great news. Your power chair will be paid in full.
The Scooter Store. Why should you call the Scooter Store today? Because their mobility experts are also Medicare experts. And that means the Scooter Store is your best shot at qualifying for a scooter that costs you little to nothing.
Hi, I'm Doug Harrison. At the Scooter Store, 97% of our Medicare customers paid little to nothing out of pocket. How do we do it? We know what it takes to get you your power chair or scooter. It's our strength, it's our mission, and we back it up with the Scooter Store guarantee. If we qualify you and Medicare denies your claim for a new power chair or scooter, I'll give it to you absolutely free.
I paid into Medicare all my life, and when I needed it, the benefit was there for me. The Scooter Store made it so easy.
I didn't pay a penny out of pocket for my power chair. Medicare and my insurance covered it all.
The Scooter Store got me back out into the world again, and they're some of the nicest people you'll ever talk to.
There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you.
Call the Scooter Store for free information today.
Call 1-800-381-3535 for your free information from the Scooter Store, and we'll also send you this pocket-sized lighted magnifier as our gift. Absolutely free, just for calling. There's no obligation, so call the Scooter Store today at 1-800-381-3535.
Day 87, and Tyler B is still in that aisle, determined to find the answer for his acne.
Kid, get a life. I'm trying. The truth is, acne, even when it's mild, is a medical condition.
Huh?
Medical as in doctor?
his senses, sort of, and learned about once-a-day prescription Epiduo Gel. If you're not getting the results you want, ask your doctor about Epiduo, 2 of the most doctor-prescribed acne-fighting ingredients in one gel medication, a product you can't get in the acne aisle. Dryness, redness, peeling, stinging, burning, or itching may occur. Don't use irritating products when using Epiduo. Overexposure to sun lamps, extreme wind, or cold may increase the risk for irritation. Use of sunscreen and protective clothing is advised. Go to truthaboutzits.com and learn how to pay no more than $20 for your Epiduo prescription.
Awesome.
To learn more about Epiduo Gel, talk to your doctor, call, or go to truthaboutzits.com.
Friday, are you cheating on your spouse with money, wildly overspending in secret?
Every time I feel lonely or abandoned, I shop.
Or holding on to money so tight it's hurting your family? Friday, finally, hope for the helpless. Is money really the problem? Watch 2020.
Sunday. The summer's biggest series premiere begins. They were handpicked for an incredible mission.
This is one hell of a backyard.
They had no idea.
When were you going to tell everybody else?
When you get to Venus. What they were chosen for.
We got a problem.
How many of them did you think would have gone if we told them?
Zoe! ABC's Defying Gravity. 2-hour series premiere Sunday, 9 Central on ABC.
Welcome back. 2 detainees who spent years in detention at Guantanamo Bay are bound for a less tropical island. Ireland has agreed to take the detainees as the Obama administration tries to close Gitmo. Ireland says it no longer considers the men a security threat. France and Italy have also agreed to take prisoners who are still in lockup at Guantanamo.
So what to do with the rest of the detainees at Guantanamo Bay is just one of the things Attorney General Eric Holder deals with on a daily basis.
But it's just one issue that keeps Holder very busy, man. Our Pierre Thomas spent a day with him and got an exclusive inside look.
Morning, Mr. Attorney General.
How you doing? Just before 8 a.m., the Attorney General is greeted by his armed FBI security detail. The pressure cooker starts early. As he heads to the Capitol, Eric Holder is well aware of the daily threat matrix, laying out all the ways terrorists are planning to kill us.
So that's a hell of a way to start your day every day.
Yeah, you're typically not finding good news in those reports or in that meeting. It is, in some ways, the most sobering part of the day. Overnight, the FBI and Homeland Security has sent out a bulletin warning authorities about Americans training with terrorists overseas and returning home.
Vice President Cheney has made some comments, over in recent months that he doesn't think the Obama administration is taking the threat as seriously as the Bush administration.
We understand that keeping the American people safe is the most important job that we have. It's the most important thing the president does. It's the most important thing that I do. So, this notion that we have somehow dropped the ball or that we're not as focused on this is simply not accurate. It's inconsistent with what I do on a daily basis. Terrorism, espionage, corruption, the pressure of hardball politics, all on the plate for the nation's top cop. As a result, working with allies and foes on Capitol Hill, a job requirement.
The job is probably the toughest job there is because it is the one part of the cabinet where certainly you have to reflect the president, but you've got to be independent. This summer, Holder faces a series of critical decisions. Whether to investigate the Bush administration detention and interrogation of terrorism suspects. Holder made clear that's a real possibility, regardless of the fallout.
I've said that waterboarding is torture. If one looks at the history of that practice, I don't see how you can reach any other conclusion. I think the department, at least some of the people who worked here, simply lost their way. We will not criminalize policy differences. We will follow the facts and the law wherever that takes us.
Do you think you have the independence to do that if you need to make that call?
Yes.
Thank you. During lunch, Holder was blunt. I'm not the Secretary of Justice. I'm the Attorney General of the United States. And there's a fundamental difference between what I have to do and what any other cabinet officer has to do. I have the responsibility of enforcing the laws, and you have to do that in a neutral and detached way, or
the very existence of this place is questioned. The motives of this place are questioned, and you can't have a Justice Department like that.
Holder acknowledges some of the security steps the Bush administration took made the country safer. But make no mistake, the Obama National Security Team is on a decidedly different course. Gitmo is going to be closed. Holder says many detainees will be prosecuted in military and federal courts, and that a significant number will be imprisoned on U.S. soil.
I'm confident that we do have the ability to safely hold these people and not endanger the communities in which they might be held.
All these decisions could lead to a political firestorm. But as he took a television crew for the first time into his bulletproof secure office, Holder laid down a marker.
I can accept criticism, and you can say that I'm right, you can say that I'm wrong, but I draw lines. And when you start to say that I'm dishonest or that you question my integrity, then you're going to have a fight on your hands.
And Holder, as Attorney General, often finds himself at the intersection of divisive issues beyond the Beltway. Issues like race and policing, which exploded back into national headlines with the arrest of a black Harvard professor at his home by a white police officer. While he declined to take sides, Holder acknowledged he too has been racially profiled.
I was a young college student driving from New York to Washington, stopped on a highway, and told to open the trunk of my car because a police officer told me he wanted to search it for weapons. I remember as I got back in the car and continued on my journey, how humiliated I felt, how angry I got.
He said the controversy in Cambridge proves more needs to be done in race relations.
I think that you have two individuals who I suspect wish that this thing had been resolved in a different way.
Have we reached a point where law enforcement is colorblind?
No, not yet, but I think we're certainly in a much better place than we were.
He recalled being at the White House standing near the president on July 4th when the fireworks went off.
There were times during the course of that evening on that quintessential American day to look over and see this very bright young man, this African American, who is the President of the United States.
That is America. Progress amid conflict, as Holder knows better than most. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
Certainly a very difficult job, and as he mentioned, he praises President Obama, and he also has had sort of a long history with him. He was a senior legal advisor for the Obama campaign and one of just 3 people who were responsible for that VP selection committee. So,
yeah, and you talk about his resume. He's got an interesting one, sort of pre-government. He was a lawyer, private practice. He represented the NFL during their dogfighting investigation of Michael Vick. So he's got sort of an interesting outside the government resume as well.
Well, coming up, if you are in the market for some real estate, listen up.
Yes, some of the deals in the Sunshine State are looking better and better these days. How about a place in that building for dirt cheap? We'll tell you all about them next.
ABC's World News Now will continue after this from our ABC stations.
Alcohol is the leading contributor to injury and death for people under 21.
You think it's okay?
You think it's okay?
You think it's okay to buy alcohol? To buy alcohol? As long as you take my car keys?
As long as you take my car keys? Taking the keys?
Taking the keys won't stop me.
Won't stop me.
From hooking up?
Drinking until I pass out? Or getting my face kicked in?
If you want to help keep me safe, stop kidding yourself.
And stop providing.
When you're hurt in a car wreck, you want someone with a winning reputation.
Science and Kirk have a reputation for not backing down and for getting results.
I'm Ryan Science. We work hard, we don't back down, and we get results for our clients. That's how we earned our reputation.
They can get you the respect you deserve.
Science and Kirk fight insurance companies, and they win.
We work for you and we get results. Call 1-800-LAWYERS 24 hours a day. If you have a phone or a computer, you have a lawyer. 1-800-LAWYERS.
Well, we've been reporting for months now about foreclosed homes and how the real estate market has been a mess.
One of the worst hit areas has been South Florida, but things appear to be stabilizing, making this very much a buyer's market. Jeffrey Kaufman reports from Miami.
Talk about prime real estate. When the Regent Bell Harbor Condo Hotel went on the market in 2005, it fetched some of the highest prices seen in Miami. This 500-square-foot room sold for $550,000. Last week, that same unit sold for $32,000 as part of a bulk sale. Wow, what a view. And what a price. Luxury units selling for $63 a square foot.
You're saying that this was once worth $1,100 a square foot?
Absolutely.
When will it be worth $1,100 a square foot again?
I don't think I'll be allowed to see it.
While much of the overheated, overbuilt Miami real estate market continues its free fall, there have been some big buys recently. Investment funds have scooped up hundreds of units at discounts of 50 to 90%. Before you jump on a plane and head to Miami in search of fire sale prices, you need to know that you won't get a bargain like that unless you're buying a whole building. But there are bargains here. After being stalled for almost 4 years, the Miami market is beginning to move. At the height of the market, 21,000 homes were sold. Last year, just 9,000. This year, sales are on track to hit 12,500.
So what do you have here?
This is a duplex.
When the market was red hot, Carlos Bourguignon thought he'd never have a chance to own a home. But now he's confident that for $330,000, he just bought a bargain.
We resisted temptation, did not go into more than we could afford or get involved in it when the market was that high.
The advice for bargain hunters?
There are some early deals out there that do make sense. But if you think you're going to make money in a quick flip in the next 3 to 5 years, I'd say you're probably better off in the stock market.
The bottom of the market may be closer, but recovery is still a long way away. Jeffrey Kaufman, ABC News, Miami.
That is truly a jaw-dropping figure of $32,000. But in a sense, we had to sort of see this coming. Because I'm sure for you also, I would walk down streets and think, who is going to live in all this stuff that they're buying?
Right. It's in building. It's the same story in New York here, too. They're putting up all these high rises, nobody to live in them, nobody can afford to buy them. So a lot of buildings that were supposed to be high dollar, purchasable units are now going rental, and really the market has dropped out.
It must be bizarre for the people who live in these buildings because it must, in effect, be a ghost town. You're living in a building with 5 units that are sold and there's 1,600 or something.
My building's kind of like that. It's 2/3 empty because, not enough people live there. I say we all pool our money and buy a place down there, don't you think, Pete?
Yes.
Write a check. Willis? You in, Willis?
Your papers are coming up next.
All right, let's do it.
When morning comes in the middle of the night, it affects your entire day. To get a good night's sleep, try 2-layer Ambient CR. The first layer dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep. And unlike other sleep aids, a second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. When taking Ambient CR, don't drive or operate machinery. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with memory loss for the event, as well as abnormal behaviors such as being more outgoing or aggressive than normal, confusion, agitation, and hallucinations may occur. Don't take it with alcohol as it may increase these behaviors. Allergic reactions such as shortness of breath, swelling of your tongue or throat may occur and in rare cases may be fatal. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. In patients with depression, worsening of depression, including risk of suicide may occur. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Wake up ready for your day. Ask your healthcare provider for 2-layer Ambient CR.
Retailers don't want you to see the information about to be disclosed.
Hi, I'm Tony Galata. This is my wife, Carrie Galata. This is our house, my wife's dream house. And we furnish most everything in this house with products from Direct Buy. We purchased the breakfast table and chairs. We looked at that table in some other places.
They ran around $3,500 and we picked it up for around $1,500.
If you're building, remodeling, or simply redecorating a room, there's now a way to buy virtually everything you need at prices you never imagined possible.
We've saved, I think, well over $20,000.
Just on our kitchen alone, we saved almost $10,000.
It adds up to about a $30,000 to $40,000 savings overall.
Call the number on your screen now to receive your free insider's guide to buying direct. Plus, you'll also receive a free visitor's pass for an exclusive tour of your local Direct Buy showroom. Call right now to get started buying the Direct Buy way. Stop paying retail and become part of Direct Buy, the private members-only showroom and design center. Don't wait another minute. Pick up the phone and call now.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-750-6401. That's 1-800-750-6401. Call now.
World News Now delivers your morning papers.
Are you all prepared?
Let's just go with it.
Busily
Let's just
researching.
try.
There's one story we have to be very delicate about, and so
It's my story, so good luck with that.
I arranged it that way. If anybody's getting fired, it's going to be her. All right, so 69-year-old John Pendergast, this is not the story, by the way. 69-year-old John Pendergast, Sterling, Virginia, he was trying to find his way to the Farmingdale, Long Island airport. And you might say he got a little messed up because he routed his plane into the path of several 747s trying to land at Kennedy Airport over the weekend and basically endangered hundreds of lives.
How old is this person?
He's 69 years old. Hundreds of lives.
How old is this person?
He's 69 years old, and he was out flying and apparently didn't bother to get into radio contact with the tower there. And so literally, like a Taiwanese 747 nearly hit him, had to get out of the way. Hundreds of people were in peril. And he didn't have the radio on or something, yeah. So you might say he's in a little bit of trouble. They haven't decided if they'll charge him with anything yet, and he hasn't been available for comment. But he definitely was not at the Farmingdale airport, that's for sure.
Okay, now for the it's going to make you uncomfortable part of the morning. This next story is dirty. That's, I think, the best way to sort of phrase it.
It can be very romantic if you look at it like that.
Some bright person decided that dogs might need some help in the bedroom.
Or the doghouse.
Yeah, or in the doghouse. So you can read it right there. That's what it is. And we're going to show you a very delicate picture of it.
There are worse pictures.
There are. And we edited. So don't email us and say that we didn't edit enough.
Yes.
That is what it is. And yeah, it's from Brazil's who makes this toy? I was so busy thinking, how can I say this?
Well, Jake's birthday's coming up if you want to buy him one.
I believe it's called the Kong.
Okay, well, yeah.
The doggy love doll.
All right, let's leave it at that. Right now, nobody's getting fired. If we go further, that might not be the case.
We edited. Don't email.
Hey, so this guy, they're trying to figure out if this guy did this on purpose or if it was an accident. Right now, they think it was an accident. So this guy is out driving his truck the other day, makes a wrong turn, hits a curb, and look where the thing winds up. But there actually was some thought that he had done it on purpose because apparently he had been upset about something earlier, angry at somebody. Now they don't think he did it on purpose. Basically, he's saying he dropped his cup of coffee, accidentally hit the accelerator, and then darted toward the pool. I assume the rust was already on the truck. The good news, though, nobody was in the pool at the time. This was at like a community center or like an elderly center, so good thing nobody was in there.
A lot of people confused this morning between that plane guy and this guy.
And the dog toy.
Let's not talk about the dog.
All right, more news coming up.
Like getting a discount? You're gonna love Mattress Discounters. The difference is the discount. And right now, the discount is half price. It's the final days of our half off sale. And select Sealy and Sealy Posturepedic mattress sets are half off our already discounted price. This Sealy Posturepedic queen set normally sells for $13.99. Right now, it's half off, just $6.99. At Mattress Discounters, the difference is the discount. Hurry, sale ends Tuesday at 8.
This is so exciting. Cash for Clunkers is starting now at Antwerp and Hyundai. Yes, now, that's worth over $4,500. Yes, over $4,500. And he keeps smashing the window. Whoa!
Get cash for your clunker now. 09 Accents, $39.90. Elantris, $63.90. Sonata's, $83.90. Tucson's, $10,390.
It's still worth over $4,500 at Antwerp and Hyundai, where Jack says yes!
It's happening all over. People are turning to a unique wireless company, one that limits your cost without limiting you. Cricket respects you and your wallet like nobody else with $35 a month unlimited talk, text, and U.S. long distance. There are no contracts to sign or overages on America's most affordable 3G network. Just call 1-800-353-6658. Click mycricket.com or come into a Cricket store today and get all this for just $35 a month. Isn't it time you and your wallet got a little... Come in today for a new web-capable phone starting at $49.99. Just call, click, or stop by. Get respect for your wallet. Respect for you.
Shot in the arm, health experts decide who gets top priority for the swine flu vaccine.
We know we can't protect everyone.
Then summer scorcher. People are looking for ways to beat the heat as triple-digit temperatures smother the Pacific Northwest.
And one-way ticket, the controversial plan to deal with homelessness in the Big Apple. It's Thursday, July 30th.
From ABC News, this is World News Now.
Seeing all that footage of kids running through the sprinkler takes me back. I remember that slip and slide we used to set up in Texas.
It's the only way to stay cool in parts of the country right now.
It has really been a scorcher, and of course we'll tell you more about that coming up. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm Vanita Nair.
I'm Jeremy Hubbard. Government health officials have now drawn up their list for who should be the first to get the swine flu vaccine.
But supplies of the vaccine are going to be limited, and the first shots will be given later in the flu season than officials had hoped. Lisa Stark reports from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta.
First and foremost, immunizations will go to those at highest risk from H1N1 swine flu. Not just pregnant women, 15 of whom have died from this virus, and healthcare workers, also those who care for young infants, children and teens 6 months to age 18, and those 19 to 64 with health problems such as asthma and diabetes. In a surprise move, the committee added healthy college-age kids to the list, deciding 19 to 24-year-olds should get priority too, because they frequently study and live in close quarters and often spread the virus. This list covers nearly 160 million people, over half the U.S. population.
We know we can't eliminate it. We know we can't protect everyone, but we're hoping to minimize the number of hospitalizations and deaths that occur from this pandemic.
Only after these groups would the vaccine go to healthy 25 to 64-year-olds, and then finally to those over age 65 who appear to have some immunity to this virus.
The H1N1 outbreak so far has, to a large extent, spared that population.
The big unknown, will people be willing to get this new vaccine? Even with the seasonal flu, only about 40% of Americans get the shot. Bulk doses of this new vaccine will contain the controversial preservative thimerosal, which some people claim contributes to autism, despite exhaustive studies that show otherwise. But infectious disease specialists insist it is critical to get high-risk groups protected.
Once the virus actually hits and we get a lot of illness, all of a sudden there will be a huge interest in vaccine.
A vaccine that may need 2 doses to be effective. Now, federal officials still hope to have 120 million doses of the vaccine on hand by mid-October, with another 80 million a month after that. But we are now learning that it is likely that timetable could slip. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Atlanta.
Well, the president's health care reform is showing signs of life. In the House, 7 Blue Dog Democrats finally agreed to go along with a committee plan. George Stephanopoulos explains the 3 major compromises that sealed the deal.
Here are the 3 main components that got the conservative Democrats to come along. Number 1, they agreed to lower the cost of the bill by about $100 billion over 10 years. That brought it below that key $1 trillion cost mark. Number 2, they increased the number of small businesses who are exempted from the requirement to provide health insurance to their employees. Before, it was any business that had $250,000 in revenue. They raised that up to $500,000. And number 3, they watered down that public health insurance option. Right now, the public health insurance option will not have the same kind of power that Medicare has to set rates. So now it's the job of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to take all those 3 committees, knit them together over the August recess, bring it to the House floor in September.
As for the Senate, Stephanopoulos says Republicans are still insisting on negotiations that could delay action until later this fall, perhaps even Christmas.
Well, President Obama will host a beer summit at a picnic table near the Oval Office today. It will be Bud Light for the president, Blue Moon for Police Sergeant James Crowley, and Red Stripe for Henry Louis Gates. Sergeant Crowley's arrest of Gates touched off a nationwide debate over racial profiling by police. The debate really heated up after President Obama said that police acted stupidly in arresting Gates. The president later apologized for his choice of words.
They could use some of that beer in Washington State and Oregon, in an area famous for its cool, damp climate. The Pacific Northwest facing another day of extreme heat. Yesterday, Seattle sizzled under an all-time high of 102 degrees, the hottest ever recorded there. As Laura Marquez reports, fans are flying off the shelves.
Entire Pacific Northwest went looking for a fan.
All the fans are gone.
They're all gone.
Stores that stocked up sold out before noon.
I got to come back this afternoon to try and get a bigger fan. They just have desktop fans right now.
To escape the oppressive heat, families are resorting to sleeping outside or in their basements.
It just sucks the life right out of you, just like it was 95 and 90% humidity back in a place like New Jersey.
Maureen Mastrobatista got a surprise when she opened her freezer.
The polar bear is in the freezer. Why are they in the freezer? Because they need to be cool.
For many in Seattle, keeping cool has become an improvisational art because there have been entire years where the city hasn't hit 90 degrees. But this year alone, it's topped that mark 4 days running, and even more heat is expected.
Cooling centers, a rarity here, are now up and running. Swimming pools are extending hours, while outdoor workers are withering.
Just as long as it doesn't get too much above 100. I don't want to melt.
In nearby Portland, temperatures have eclipsed 100 degrees for days. Local fire departments rolled out their hoses to douse the heat.
Something like this it's not just unprecedented. It's amazing.
Forecasters say from west coast to east, the nation is locked in a very unusual weather pattern.
We are seeing extremes on both sides. I mean, we've seen the East Coast go through some rainy periods where you don't really expect it. You've seen us dry and hotter than normal when we don't really expect it.
So the city, known for cool rain, is learning what a searing summer is all about. Laura Marquez, ABC News, Seattle.
I always wonder how the pets do it when it gets that hot in those regions.
Keep them cool.
Yeah. Well, here's a look at your Thursday forecast. Thunderstorms with flooding from Tennessee to East Texas, while severe weather hits West Texas and New Mexico. Showers and thunderstorms in the southeast, and scattered afternoon thunderstorms from New England to D.C.
Another scorcher up in the northwest today. A record 99 in Seattle, 98 for Portland, 94 in Boise. Just 69 in Fargo, though, and 70 in Minneapolis, but low 80s for Chicago and Detroit. A high of 83 in Boston and 90 for Baltimore.
Well, police in Utah found themselves in hot pursuit of a very unusual little suspect.
Little being the key word there. The driver blew through a few stop signs, hit 40 miles an hour at times, but for the most part, he managed to stay in the right lane and keep pretty good control of the car before finally coming to the stop. And check out the driver. 7-year-old boy. And you can tell by the way he's running, he knows he's in trouble.
Oh, the boy wasn't a rebel without a cause, though. He later told his father that he took the car because he did not want to go to church.
I used to try to come up with some good excuses to get out of church, too, but I never tried that.
That was great, seeing him sprint away from the car.
He knew.
He knew he was in trouble. We'll be right back.
World News Now weather brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color.
I'm gonna steal that car. I did sometime in 99 or do some.
It's gonna work. Why don't they go up? Let's go. Dad? It's time. You'd be a really nice catch for somebody. Please?
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can start something great.
For my girls.
Yes! I'm glad we did it.
Just for Men. Live forward.
Here's some health information for people over 50. Maybe you don't think you're at risk for heart attack or stroke. But if you've been diagnosed with PAD or have pain or heaviness in your legs, I want to talk to you. You may have heard of poor leg circulation, which could be peripheral artery disease or PAD. With PAD,
If you have poor circulation in your legs, you may also have poor circulation in your heart and in your brain. And that can more than double your risk for heart attack or stroke. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? If you're not sure, call for this free information kit to learn more.
Call 1-888-300-5422 to find out what the risks of PAD really are. You'll find a 7-point checklist that helps you understand what could be putting you at risk. If you have symptoms, you'll learn how treating symptoms is different from reducing your risk. You'll also learn about lifestyle changes and treatment options that can help reduce your risk for heart attack or stroke. There's even a doctor discussion guide for you to bring to your doctor that can help you discuss PAD together. Call 1-888-300-5422 for your free information kit today.
The risk is real. Take the first step. Call today.
Do you have a structured settlement from a lawsuit or an annuity? Even if you are getting monthly checks from a structured settlement or annuity, debt can still pile up. If you're struggling to make ends meet, it can feel like you have nowhere to turn. Peachtree can help you turn your structured settlement or annuity into cash now. Cash you can use to pay off debt, make important purchases, or avoid foreclosure. Get the money you need now.
To find out how, call Peachtree today at 1-800-444-8237.
I'm going to do another one of my sleep studies. Advil PM or Tylenol PM. Here we go. Middle of the night. Awake again? Asleep. With Advil PM, she's spending less time lying awake with aches and pains and more time asleep. You should switch to Advil PM. Maybe you should switch too. Advil PM. The difference is a better night's sleep.
Welcome back. ABC News has learned the toxicology report on Michael Jackson's death is ready and that family members have seen it, but the coroner's office is waiting for the LAPD's approval to release it next week.
We know Jackson was taking powerful drugs to deal with insomnia. As Chris Connolly reports, those drugs were also potentially deadly.
A superstar who needed to sleep, his brain racing but his body exhausted, facing a dizzying array of prescription medications, and it having to choose which ones to take and how many, facing the most important decision of his day.
People will get so desperate to sleep that some patients will start using whatever they can get their hands on that'll work in that moment. And it can actually be extremely dangerous in the long run.
From Elvis in 1977 to Heath Ledger in 2007, these would be fateful choices, as they may have also been for another insomniac, Michael Jackson, as he prepped last month for This Is It, the show that was supposed to herald his comeback.
Did the guys who were working on the show with him have any idea of the level of drugs he was apparently taking?
No, I just spoke with Frank DeLeo, his manager, and he said to me, there's this news about propofol and that, it was possibly being used on him every night in an IV drip. And he said, he had no idea. He had no idea, and he felt like it was, if it's true, that it was being hidden from him.
He would say to me, I didn't sleep much last night. And I would say, Michael, we have to come to understand how to make that go away because we have a limited amount of time. You need to be rested.
Jackson would tell his director that sleeplessness could also bestir his creativity, as if Jackson felt brought to him by some sort of higher power.
And so he would say, the ideas are coming. The ideas are coming, he's giving me the ideas, and what am I going to do? Walk away from them? He'll give them to someone else. and I was like, can't you make a pact with your higher power?
And Michael said, no, if I wait, then he's just going to give those ideas to Prince.
On one occasion, and I have not mentioned this to anyone, he said to me, Deepak, there's something that takes you right to the edge, to the valley of death, and then brings you back. Do you know anything about it?
What did he mean when he said that?
Well, that's now in hindsight, that's Diproven. Isn't it?
Diprovan produces coma, and an anesthetic coma is not the same as sleep, although there are similarities.
Yet it was Diprivan, also known as propofol, that investigators believe Jackson was injected with in the hours before his death, knocking him out with the speed of a surgery patient going under.
Here we go.
Like this one, being administered propofol prior to an operation to repair a deviated septum.
Right now he's at a deep sedation. People who do fall asleep with propofol are usually not awakened by noise or external stimulation like pain, jerking of the bed, noise outside, children's noise in the background. They really asleep. They can't wake up. They only wake up when you turn off the medication.
Until now, little research has been done into propofol's effects. The University of Chicago's Dr. Avery Tung has been studying the drug on rats and said its effects are like those of a good night's sleep, with one big difference.
We found that when given propofol during a period of time, they were no different than if they had slept for that same period of time. When naturally sleeping, rats do have REM sleep. We saw no patterns like that in rats under propofol.
For Michael Jackson, the road to his apparently using this powerful drug passed through years of sleep difficulties, as Mark Schaffel says he saw firsthand.
Well, it was never unusual to get calls from Michael at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And there was a couple times he had conversations where he just, before we finished the conversation, he fell asleep on the phone while still on the phone.
He was a real insomniac, and it seemed like his nights were sort of this tortured time. He had this addiction to eBay that he partook in at night, which sounded like a real kind of insomniac thing to me, that he would compulsively buy things alone at night on the internet on eBay.
What did you find in the court records that told you that he was an insomniac?
The Santa Barbara case from 2005, they did interviews with a couple of different people, and there they said that he was taking 30 to 40 Xanax a night, which is a lot of Xanax.
As he began building a tolerance to the garden variety of sleeping pills, he may have sought something more potent, something that would need an IV to deliver.
I know during the times that we were together and he would be using some of these IVs and stuff, when he was out, he was out. You just couldn't disturb him, you couldn't go in, you couldn't call him.
Was it a genuine need for rest or an addict's clever plea for more medication? Michael Jackson's thirst for sleep-inducing drugs apparently led him to take this hospital anesthetic, enabled, some think, by all too willing doctors.
I don't think Mr. Jackson could have gotten access to all the pain medications and narcotics all on his own. He made a request, and that request perhaps was welcomed by many.
And they say an addiction to this propofol is actually very beatable. 80% of people are able to overcome it. But I just wonder, how are you able to even become addicted in the first place? And unless you're really in the know, you have connected doctors, that sort of thing. How do you get your hands on this?
But once you get your hands on it, that's when the problem begins, because they say it is so rapidly addictive that sometimes people will shoot up something like 50 times a day to sustain the high. So, once you get your hands on it, it seems like it's very difficult to stop.
Certainly seems like that's the case here. Well, one of the first ministers to take his message to television has died. Reverend Ike preached that the road to salvation was not paved with love and forgiveness, but with cold hard cash. He called his philosophy prosperity now, or thinkonomics.
At the height of his success in the 70s, he reached about 2.5 million viewers, and in the process became a multi-millionaire. Reverend Ike died Tuesday in Los Angeles. He was 74 years old.
ABC's World News Now will continue after this from our ABC stations.
It's happening all over. People are turning to a unique wireless company, one that limits your cost without limiting you. Cricket respects you and your wallet like nobody else with $35 a month unlimited talk, text, and U.S. long distance. There are no contracts to sign or overages on America's most affordable 3G network. Just call 1-800-353-6658. Click mycricket.com or come into a Cricket store today and get all this for just $35 a month. Isn't it time you and your wallet got a little... Come in today for a new web-capable phone starting at $49.99. Just call, click, or stop by. Get respect for your wallet, respect for you.
This morning, a bombshell GMA exclusive. Michael Jackson's former private chef reveals what he saw inside Jackson's home shortly before his death. What was being carried out of the house, and will it impact the investigation? He speaks out, only on Good Morning America.
A primetime special event. Extreme Makeover's Ty Pennington heads across the ocean.
I'm in England.
For his biggest challenge yet.
It might just take a village to raise a park.
But no matter what the obstacles,
there's no way any of this thing is going to get done.
It will take Ty Pennington.
I'm determined not to let him down.
And the spirit of this community.
Thank you very much.
To make their dream come true.
Let's make it happen!
In an unforgettable special, Ty's Great British Adventure, Sunday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
A controversial city program here in New York. A controversial city program here in New York is raising eyebrows. It is designed to help the city's homeless relocate.
Basically, the city's buying one-way plane tickets to destinations far and wide. Dave Evans, our New York station WABC, reports.
For many of New York's homeless, it is an attractive offer, a one-way ticket out of the city. Teresa Small-Smith is from Los Angeles, and she's intrigued by the idea.
Well, I'm hoping to get in my own house, and I'm hoping my parents are there when I do get there, yes.
But you would want to participate
definitely
in the program?
Oh, definitely.
Today, Mayor Bloomberg defended the program, saying it's a heck of a lot cheaper for City Hall to buy a one-way ticket, on average $218, versus providing an apartment. Per year, that costs $36,000.
And given the cost of providing shelter for a family, this saves the taxpayers of New York an enormous amount of money. Also, keep in mind, nobody's forcing these people to go. They want to go.
Since 2007, the city has helped 564 families go elsewhere, most to Puerto Rico and the Carolinas. But in one case, the city spent $6,000 flying one family to Paris.
It's all part, I think, of the same fabric, the same effort to try to shrink and artificially shrink the population.
Arnold Cohen blames politics as motivation for the one-way tickets home, anything to reduce the near-record number of homeless in New York. He also questions whether the homeless are really getting help.
All we're really doing is arguably shifting the problem to another municipality.
But city officials said they don't just willy-nilly fly people all over the world. They check up on what's waiting back home.
We identify outside New York City resources that they have so that they will either be going to their own apartment, going to live with a family, or going to live with a friend. They are going to a home.
That is really an unbelievable program. And right now they're saying that of the 564 families that have been bought tickets since 2007, none of them have come back to NYC. So in a sense, if that was the goal.
Well, and it's a very expensive city to live in, so maybe they do benefit from moving elsewhere. I don't know. Controversial to say the least. More news coming up.
Picture for a moment a little girl or a boy who doesn't know what it's like to just be a child. When we met him, 12-year-old Alex had just watched both of his parents die. The only family he has now is a very old grandmother and 4 little brothers. He cares for them like a parent, doing the best he can to keep them alive. But they have very little to eat, so Alex goes without. Imagine caring for 4 young children when you're still a child yourself. Alex worries about what will become of his younger brothers. He thinks about the mother he's lost and what kind of future there will be. For children like this, who have nothing and no parents, you can tell that child that you care and that help is on the way. Please call the number on your screen or visit online to sponsor a child right now. Your sponsorship connects you with one child in need, but your support helps their entire community. You'll help build schools, drill wells, and set up health clinics, providing children like Alex with life-changing opportunities. You can choose the child you'd like to sponsor, and we'll send you their photo right away, as well as information about your sponsored child and their community. There are many children like Alex who need your support. And to know that someone cares please make that phone call or go online right now. I can't imagine anything that would mean more to a child in need.
Day 87, and Tyler B is still in that aisle, determined to find the answer for his acne.
Kid, get a life. I'm trying. The truth is, acne, even when it's mild, is a medical condition. Huh? Medical as in doctor?
And that's how Tyler came to his senses, sort of, and learned about once-a-day prescription Epiduo Gel. If you're not getting the results you want, ask your doctor about Epiduo, 2 of the most doctor-prescribed acne-fighting ingredients in one gel medication, a product you can't get in the acne aisle. Dryness, redness, peeling, stinging, burning, or itching may occur. Don't use irritating products when using Epiduo. Overexposure to sun lamps, extreme wind, or cold may increase the risk for irritation. Use of sunscreen and protective clothing is advised. Go to truthaboutzits.com and learn how to pay no more than $20 for your Epiduo prescription.
Awesome.
To learn more about Epiduo Gel, talk to your doctor, call, or go to truthaboutzits.com.
Alrighty, well finally this half hour, is it really worth buying organically grown food?
I think everybody wonders about it. Millions of people spend tens of billions of dollars a year on it, but are they getting their money's worth? Palab Ghosh of the BBC reports.
Organic food is big business, worth £29 billion worldwide, and it's growing fast. It's more expensive, but people are prepared to pay extra because they think it's a healthier option. However, a study by the Food Standards Agency has found that there's no difference between eating organic and conventionally produced food.
There are no important differences in nutrient content between organically and conventionally produced foods. There are also no important nutritional health benefits from consuming organically produced foods.
The total amount we spent in the last year in shops and supermarkets was £83 billion. The amount on non-organic food was £71 billion, and the amount on organic was a sizable chunk, £1 billion. Campaigners, though, question the science, and they say that there are also environmental benefits in producing food organically.
I think people buy organic food for a whole range of things. The government said today they'll continue to support organic because it's good for animal welfare, good for wildlife, it creates more jobs and a more beautiful countryside. And I would say on your health, trust your common sense. If you want to avoid pesticides, avoid animals reared on antibiotics, buy organic food.
The Food Standards Agency says that their research does not mean that people should not eat organic food, but it does show, they say, that it's not necessarily better for you. Palab Ghosh, BBC News.
Aha, I knew it.
Well, I think that what they're saying is yes and no.
Well, maybe, but it seems like such a what am I trying to say here?
You're being tricked almost.
Right, you're being tricked. Like, I know my wife is always like, oh, let's go to Whole Foods, let's buy. And I think it's too expensive. You get the same stuff at the regular grocery store.
I think the key that they're saying is you have to just wash everything. You have to be vigilant in the washing, but aren't you at least thankful you're doing something for the environment?
Well, there's that, but still, I mean, it just seems like such a scam. They're so expensive, some of this organic stuff.
I know, but I'm secretly convinced it tastes better.
Yeah,
I'm with your wife.
That's what my wife says too. I don't know about that. Willis, what do you think?
Yeah, it's all great to me.
He doesn't know what organic means.
He wasn't even listening. He just woke him up.
Go back to sleep, Willis. We'll be right back.
Finding the right school for your child can be a puzzling process. Bethel Christian Academy has the right pieces for a quality education. Academic excellence combined with important Christian values, dedicated teaching staff, involved parents, and supportive administrators are key pieces of the puzzle. Located in Savage between Baltimore and Washington, just 5 minutes off I-95. Visit us online at BethelChristianAcademy.com.
Bethel Christian Academy, the perfect fit for your child.
Thinking of cooking? Think of your heart. I'm Mon, short for mono unsaturated fat.
And I'm polyunsaturated fat. We're the Better Fat Sisters. We lower your risk of heart disease.
Give up those bad fat foods and hang with us.
Come see us online.
The Better Fat Sisters. Be kinder to your heart.
happening all over. People are turning to a unique wireless company, one that limits your cost without limiting you. Cricket respects you and your wallet like nobody else with $35 a month unlimited talk, text, and U.S. long distance. There are no contracts to sign or overages on America's most affordable 3G network. Just call 1-800-353-6658. Click mycricket.com or come into a Cricket store today and get all this for just $35 a month. Isn't it time you and your wallet got a little... Come in today for a new web-capable phone starting at $49.99. Just call, click, or stop by. Get respect for your wallet. Respect for you.
Baltimore's most accurate forecast, certified by Weather Rate, only on ABC2.
Good morning from WMAR TV ABC2 in Baltimore, Maryland's pioneer television station since 1947.
Swine flu vaccine. A government panel recommends who should get to come to the front of the line this fall.
Then, getting her say, the woman whose 911 call touched off the arrest of Professor Henry Louis Gates steps into the spotlight.
I hope people can see that I try to be careful and honest with my words.
And into the wild. A rare, up-close look at exotic primates and what is threatening their survival. It's Thursday, July 30th.
From ABC News, this is World News Now.
And included in that Dan Harris story is a rare look at a dancing, jumping, weird monkey that has some strange moves.
Is that the technical term?
I don't know
Dancing.
if that's technical or not, but wait till you see some of this thing's moves.
Oh,
it's pretty impressive.
Now I can't wait to see it.
It's coming up this half hour. Stick around for it. Good morning. I'm Jeremy Hubbard.
And I'm Vanita Nair. A federal health panel is recommending that about 160 million Americans be the first to get the swine flu vaccine.
But with a vaccine shortage possible, that means some who should get the shot probably won't. Viviana Hurtado joins us now from Washington with the latest on what could be a dangerous flu season.
Good morning, Jeremy and Vanita. Public health officials are working to get ahead of what many are predicting could be a double-barreled influenza season of regular and swine flu. Health officials put over half the population on a priority list to receive the H1N1 or swine flu vaccine. At the top are those at the highest risk of exposure, spreading infection, developing serious complications, or death if they contract it, including pregnant women whom studies show are especially vulnerable to this virus. Healthcare workers, those who care for infants under 6 months of age, children and teens from 6 months to age 18, 19 to 64-year-olds with health problems such as asthma and diabetes. College-age students were also added.
We know we can't eliminate it. We know we can't protect everyone, but we're hoping to minimize the number of hospitalizations and deaths that occur from this pandemic.
Only 40% of Americans get the regular flu shot, casting doubts on whether people will be willing to try this new vaccine.
Once the virus actually hits and we get a lot of illness, all of a sudden there will be a huge interest in vaccine.
But not all public health experts are on board with the vaccine that's still being developed and may only be effective after 2 doses.
I think we have to be very, very careful not to oversell this virus. As Cody mentioned, we don't know anything about the safety of this vaccine.
Public health experts are advising people to get the regular flu shot as soon as it becomes available, then stay informed and be ready to get the H1N1 vaccine when the time comes. Jeremy and Vanita.
Viviana, thanks. Healthcare reform is gaining new momentum this morning. A handful of conservative House Democrats struck a deal after insisting on $100 billion in spending cuts, a weaker government-run health option, and more exemptions for small business. Still, it could be late this year before the House and the Senate finally produce a plan the president can sign.
Well, the president, the police sergeant, and that Harvard professor sit down at the White House for a round of brews this afternoon. It'll be Bud Light for Mr. Obama, Blue Moon for Sergeant James Crowley, and Red Stripe for Henry Louis Gates. And we've now heard for the first time from the woman whose 911 phone call led to the Gates arrest. Here's Yunji Denise.
Hers was the phone call that started it all.
What's the problem? Tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know what's happening. I just had an older woman standing here, and she had noticed 2 gentlemen trying to get in a house.
That 911 call brought Cambridge police to the home of Professor Henry Louis Gates. His arrest and the president's subsequent criticism has turned her life upside down.
I was called racist, and I was a target of scorn and ridicule because of the things I never said.
Sergeant Jim Crawley's police report states that Whalen identified the two men as black, but her 911 call shows otherwise.
White, black, or Hispanic?
Well, there were two larger men. One looked kind of Hispanic, but I'm not really sure. And the other one entered, and I didn't see what he looked like at all.
Now that the tapes are out, I hope people can see that I try to be careful and honest with my words.
Even with that evidence, Whalen has been under attack. Still, given the choice, she said she would make that call. Given the choice, she said she would make that call all over again.
I've had much reflection on that, and yes, I would make the call. I would absolutely do that.
Police officer, the professor, and the president will meet at the White House for a beer. So far, Whalen hasn't been invited. Her attorney says maybe it's a guy thing. And besides, her client doesn't like beer. Yunji Denise, ABC News, New York.
We have a developing story from Massachusetts this morning. A baby taken from the womb of its murdered mother is alive and well. Darlene Haynes was 8 months pregnant when she was found dead in her Worcester, Massachusetts apartment on Monday. Police have charged an acquaintance. They say friends were suspicious when the suspect told them she had just delivered a child. The baby is said to be in fairly good health.
ABC News has learned the long-awaited toxicology report on Michael Jackson is ready. We're told family members have seen it, but the coroner's office is waiting for the Los Angeles Police Department to release it. Dr. Conrad Murray has reportedly told investigators he gave Jackson the drug propofol on the day he died. And ABC News has learned this is not the first time that Murray has caught the attention of law officers. Back in 1994, he was arrested, tried, and found not guilty of domestic violence.
A sudden downpour may have triggered a massive pileup involving dozens of cars on Interstate 40 in Durham, North Carolina. No one was seriously hurt in the rush hour chain reaction crash, but traffic was tied up for hours because of wreckage and rubberneckers.
Well, here is a look at your Thursday forecast. Thunderstorms and flooding across the south, drenching parts of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Thunderstorms from Denver to Des Moines, scattered afternoon thunderstorms for much of the East Coast.
Another day of blistering heat up in the northwest. Seattle and Portland just shy of 100 today. Phoenix climbs to 108. It's 83 for St. Louis, 74 in Omaha, 70 in the Twin Cities. Very pleasant up there. High of 88 today in New York, 85 in Atlanta.
Are you ready to say aww?
Okay, I'll get ready. Aw.
I hope it's a little more heartfelt than that.
Okay.
A little puppy love in Portland, Oregon is burning up on the internet.
Oh, there's your more heartfelt one. That is cute. Jenny the pug makes her way all around town, pushing this tiny pink stroller with stuffed pug babies in tow. Just the sight of her putting smiles on a lot of faces. The video has gotten more than 300,000 hits on YouTube.
And it looks like Jenny has a bright future ahead of her. The family was recently contacted by a talent scout.
Oh gosh, expect a Jenny reality show coming soon to a TV near you.
Poor Jenny, I wonder if she knows those are just puppets. She's just trying to lean. She doesn't even know what she's pushing. We'll be right back.
Arm in arm over meadow and farm, walking my baby back home.
World News Now weather brought to you by Direct Buy.
Or I'm reciting a poem.
Retailers don't want you to see the information about to be disclosed.
Hi, I'm Tony Galata. This is my wife, Carrie Galata. This is our house, my wife's dream house. And we furnish most everything in this house with products from Direct Buy. We purchased the breakfast table and chairs. We looked at that table in some other places.
They ran around $3,500 and we picked it up for around $1,500.
If you're building, remodeling, or simply redecorating a room, there's now a way to buy virtually everything you need at prices you never imagined possible.
We've saved, I think, well over $20,000.
Just on our kitchen alone, we saved almost $10,000.
It adds up to about a $30,000 to $40,000 savings overall.
Call the number on your screen now to receive your free insider's guide to buying direct. Plus, you'll also receive a free visitor's pass for an exclusive tour of your local Direct Buy showroom. Call right now to get started buying the Direct Buy way. Stop paying retail and become part of Direct Buy, the private members-only showroom and design center. Don't wait another minute. Pick up the phone and call now.
Attention, all Medicare beneficiaries who need assistance getting around their homes. There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you. Stay tuned for this important Medicare benefit information and free scooter guarantee. Imagine one scooter or power chair that could improve your mobility and your life. One Medicare benefit that, with private insurance, may entitle you to pay little to nothing to own it. One company that can make it all happen.
Great news. Your power chair will be paid in full.
The Scooter Store. Why should you call the Scooter Store today? Because their mobility experts are also Medicare experts. And that means the Scooter Store is your best shot at qualifying for a scooter that costs you little to nothing.
Hi, I'm Dan Weston. At the Scooter Store, more than 91% of our Medicare customers pay little to nothing out of pocket. How do we do it? We know what it takes to get you your scooter or power chair. It's our strength, it's our mission, and we back it up with this free scooter guarantee. If we pre-qualify you for Medicare reimbursement and Medicare denies your claim, we'll give you your new power chair or scooter absolutely free.
I paid into Medicare all my life, and when I needed it, the benefit was there for me. The Scooter Store made it so easy.
I didn't pay a penny out of pocket for my power chair. Medicare and my insurance covered it all.
The Scooter Store got me back out into the world again, and they're some of the nicest people you'll ever talk to.
There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you.
Call the Scooter Store for free information today.
Improve your mobility and your life. Call 1-800-495-4125 for your free, no-obligation information from the Scooter Store. Find out if you pre-qualify for Medicare and insurance payment on a brand new power chair or scooter. That number again is 1-800-495-4125.
Modern Family, coming Wednesdays this fall to ABC.
Well, the heat wave continues in parts of the Northwest. Today will be the 6th straight day with temperatures over 85 degrees in Seattle.
Yeah, they've never seen heat like this. In this morning's American Landscape, we have coverage from our Portland station KATU. But first, we go to Seattle's Como.
Como 4 News starts right now.
It's the hottest day on record in Seattle. We just hit 103 degrees, and that tops our previous all-time high of 100. Some other local cities are even hotter than that.
It's so hot that the city of Seattle has activated its emergency operations center through Friday. Police officers are going to be going around, checking up on vulnerable people, providing water, and then giving out information about where we can escape the heat. Tacoma 4's Elisa Jaffe live along I-5 with a big brush fire that snarled traffic. Elisa?
From Tequila to Sumner, from Monroe to West Seattle, the heat wave is taking a toll.
A 2,000-foot-long brush fire ripped through the I-5 median near Tequila, trapping commuters in standstill traffic for more than an hour. A Boeing crash truck laid foam on the fire, but several cars caught in the 7-mile backup couldn't handle the heat. To make sure there's water for fighting fires and drinking, Sumner is calling for conservation. The city's water supply tanks are 720,000 gallons lower than they'd like, and there's no rain to refill them in sight. Before water worries escalate into an emergency, Sumner is urging residents to resist wasting water.
So people with even-numbered addresses, watering on even-numbered days.
And odd-ending addresses should limit to every other day.
Stay cool.
Meals on Wheels worker Adam Shantz does more than deliver frozen food during this heat wave.
You guys have any fans?
He makes sure confined clients are hydrated.
Well, just drinking water, not moving around as much as ordinary.
At the bus stop, Andre Ashley uses the towel technique to keep cool.
Keeps your head and your neck extra cool.
The M's borrowed misters from the Seahawks to prepare for a sizzler inside Safeco. The misting station, usually reserved for professional athletes, helped relieve sweltering fans.
Ray Lane is live from his own hot house in Seattle. Ray, you like me, no AC?
That is the case. My place is like a lot of places out there. It is really hot and uncomfortable right now. We check the thermostat here on the bottom floor. 94 degrees. It's 99 degrees upstairs. And Eric, like you, we don't have air conditioning, but we do have the fans going. And I tell you what, if you're trying to find AC or fans right now, good luck.
You're going to make this fit, aren't you?
With a new air conditioner in hand, there was no way it was going to be left behind.
It's been pretty hard. Yeah, I haven't tried as hard as some people, but yeah, we tried yesterday, couldn't get one, and now we can. So.
Anxious customers sweated outside the Sears store in Seattle's SoDo for a chance to snag one from a new shipment.
We got an air conditioner!
I think I waited for like a half hour, 40 minutes. There's probably like 100 people in, maybe 150 or so people in. But it's really hot. It's worth it.
By 11 o'clock this morning, all ACs, large and small, were gone. Lori Giardina was desperate to keep her newborn cool.
It's more about his comfort, and if it gets to us, that's fine. We have other fans in the house that we can get relief from, but he is the most important.
Let's see. Bill Hutchison raced home to install a window unit in a bedroom. He's lived in Seattle for years, but toughed it out until now.
Every year I say I'm not going to do it because it's going to be over in a couple days. But this year when they said a week, maybe longer, I said, time to get one. I'm too old to be hot. From K2 News, this is a breaking news alert.
Another day of record-breaking heat, but it's all downhill from here. We're past the peak of the heat wave.
K2's Tom Jensen is live in Northeast Portland with a look at who's calling for help during this heat wave and why. Tom?
Fortunately, a lot of people are finding a seat in the shade like I just found here, keeping a little bit cooler. But obviously, they are getting a lot more calls for fires, grass fires, and electrical fires, and also health-related calls because of this heat wave.
Center dispatch.
At the Washington County Communications Center.
Metro West Ops 34, breathing problem. Okay, are you sitting down or standing up?
A 911 caller in distress.
Do you take medication for that?
And at dispatch centers across the region, more of the same.
The patient's having chest pain, also, and gasping. She sounded disoriented and confused.
We'll be there in just a couple minutes.
People with heat exhaustion and signs of dehydration. Emergency crews have been busy.
There have been a lot of respiratory problems, just a lot of people that are just dealing with the heat.
And with calls for fires and fire alarms. A farmer says he started this fire when his combine hit a rock.
Rubbing against a stone, you've got the cutter bar there, and I think we started something low humidity, high heat. Bad combination.
So we called 911.
Water tender 104, water tender 17.
And after he went through 12 fire extinguishers, firefighters from 3 stations responded and knocked down the flames in a matter of minutes.
They call them the Boys of Summer, and they play no matter what the temperature, but 150, that's ridiculous. K2's Craig Burnback live at PGE Park. Craig, you found that's how hot it can get on that field?
Check this out. Right now, it says 131 degrees. They say the turf is about 30 degrees hotter than your air conditions. Well, seems accurate. Now, I'm no chef, but I'm pretty sure that this grass, it's about done. These guys playing a kids game, but under some pretty extreme conditions. I do have some good news, though. Most of the spectators, well, they'll be sitting in seats that are in the shade, so much better to watch than to be playing tonight.
I'm obviously empathetic that they've never dealt with this sort of heat before.
Right.
I'm obviously empathetic that they've never dealt with this sort of heat before.
Right.
But growing up in Dallas, and I'm sure a lot of the southern states, we're thinking,
you're used to it.
yeah, we deal with this every single summer, days of 100 for stretches. So.
I guess that's why you moved to Seattle. You don't want to deal with this. And you heard that one guy at Sears acting like he just won the lottery because he managed to get an air conditioner. Foreign concept to so many of us, but in major chunks of the country, they don't have houses with air conditioners. I can't imagine living like that.
I honestly could not either.
Horrible.
Well, coming up, the spotlight is still on the ESPN reporter involved in that whole Peeping Tom fiasco. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget? We'll tell you more about it. There's a 911 call involved. The skinny up next.
ABC's World News Now will continue after this from our ABC stations.
By Factory Direct. Half-carat journey pendants, circles, and bracelets are $179. 1-carat top white studs and 3-stone rings $599. 2-carat $19.90. Plus no interest for 6 months. By Direct, the jewelry exchange in Bethesda.
Click weather on abc2news.com.
Maryland's most powerful radar.
Baltimore's most accurate forecast.
Anytime, anywhere. Customize your weather by zip code. Run the interactive radar. Zoom anywhere you like. Get your daily forecast hour by hour. The most powerful radar. The most accurate forecasts. Guaranteed. Try getting weather when you want it, how you want it. abc2news.com. Click and see what works for you.
Friday at 11. Click that coupon and you could be caught.
This has been one nightmare of an experience.
ABC2 works for you. We'll show you the difference between real savings and a scam that could cost you big. Friday on your Set, Net, and Sell.
Professor Henry Louis Gates Jr. will be there, and Sergeant James Crowley will be there. Coming over for beer. It's going to be a crazy night. There'll be karaoke with Tim Geithner. That's a crazy guy.
Right here on our stage.
He's a crazy guy, isn't he? I believe it's the first White House kegger really since the Bush twins lived there.
Willis, at least
Hey, wait, one more time, Willis. It's been a while.
Get in the house!
Yeah.
We should tape that.
For old time's sake. It has been too long.
Okay, so you know, I don't even know how to set this up except to say Erin Andrews is not going away anytime soon. No. And in case you're thinking, who is Erin Andrews? You're not the only one. Take a listen to this.
My name is Erin. My last name is Andrews. I'm all over the news right now. I'm not familiar. I'm the girl that was videotaped without her knowing, without her clothes on in the hotel. Really?
I mean, the operator does sound empathetic, and of course Erin Andrews is that woman who the video all came out, it was all over the internet, where she's naked in her hotel room and it looks like someone's sort of following her, which is a terrible situation. And now she's saying it's getting even worse because the paparazzi will not leave her alone. They're constantly outside of her house, which is what prompted her to call 911. But it is sort of interesting to hear her sort of explain her own celebrity to a 911 operator. So
it's like, oh, who? I'm sorry,
yeah.
Haven't heard of you. Hey, did you see Mark Paul Gosselaar, who played Zach Morris, of course, on Jimmy Fallon, playing Zach Morris?
Very funny.
It is very funny. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, check it out. After that, Jimmy Fallon's like, we should have a Saved by the Bell reunion on the show. He pretty much got everybody lined up, it sounds like, except for Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who has now taken to funnyordie.com to explain why she's too busy to do it.
Hats, Wranglers, take 5. Oh, hi there. I'm actress Tiffany Thiessen. I'm on the set of my new live-action cat comedy, but I wanted to take a few moments to talk with you. Now, I keep getting asked why I'm not doing the Saved by the Bell cast reunion with Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. The truth? As much as I would like to do it, I'm just really busy. So, not only am I directing, producing, and doing all the voices for the live...
She says, basically, I'm directing, producing, starring in a show. I'm working with NASA on a new fuel cell. She's trying to say, look, clearly I'm so busy. You've seen me everywhere. It's her joke. And
she's still just as good of an actress as she was when she was Kelly.
She's pretty.
I can say that because she's not watching, and I can bet on it.
You don't think?
I don't think.
Right.
Okay, you're going to really appreciate this one. Megan Fox, I know you're obsessed.
Yes.
All the guys here are always talking about Megan Fox.
Love us.
Apparently, the world has had enough of Megan Fox because a dozen or so online male-focused websites, including AOL, Asylum.com, they're having a Megan Fox media blackout day. They more or less are saying they're sick of seeing her. They love her. They still think she's equally as beautiful, but in a sense, she's just overexposed. She's been out there for way too long now, so they're hoping to sort of bring another hottie into the limelight. And the one that they're pushing for, I had never heard of her, Odette Yustman.
So does that mean we have to observe that blackout too?
I'm going to, happily.
I won't. More news coming up.
Hello, I'm Meredith Baxter, and I'm here to tell you about a different kind of cell phone company, Consumer Cellular. Now, some of us only use our cell phones a few times a day, so why should we have to pay for fancy features we don't need and minutes we never use? And worst of all, why do cell phone companies make you sign long-term, complicated contracts? Consumer Cellular is different. They keep it simple and save you money. Their rates start as low as $10 a month and no long-term contract is required. They're not a prepaid phone company. Your good credit allows you to be billed monthly. And there's never an extra charge for domestic long distance or roaming calls. You pay the same low rate day or night anywhere in the U.S. How's that for different?
Oh, I used to think my only options were prepaid cell service or to sign a long contract. Then I learned about Consumer Cellular, where no contracts are required.
Consumer Cellular,
where no contracts are required.
Consumer Cellular will even send you an easy-to-use phone for free upon credit approval and service activation. You can choose models from top companies like Nokia and Motorola. All you need to start is an active credit or debit card. And Consumer Cellular is the exclusive wireless provider for AARP members, so you can trust you're dealing with a great company.
Starting with Consumer Cellular could not have been easier. In one call, I was able to place my order and even keep my current cell number.
I tell all my friends, don't take my word for how great Consumer Cellular is. Try them yourself with their risk-free guarantee.
How about this? You can try Consumer Cellular risk-free for 30 days or 30 minutes. If you're not completely satisfied for any reason, return the phone and not be charged 1 penny. They'll even pay for the return shipping. Now that's worry-free.
Call or log on now to ConsumerCellularTV.com for simple, affordable pricing, no long-term contracts, and rates as low as $10 a month with approved credit. AARP members, be sure to ask for your additional benefits and discounts. Try Consumer Cellular risk-free. If you're not thrilled, simply return the phone and you'll owe nothing. So get your credit card ready and order right now.
Contact Consumer Cellular today and discover why they're the right call for you.
Sleep is your body's strongest ally. It can lift your mood, help rebuild muscle, and improve your concentration. Tylenol PM works with your body to ease the aches and pains that keep you awake and helps you fall asleep in a non-habit-forming way. Because the better you sleep, the better you feel.
It's been a while since I needed a tie.
Dad, you're gonna get this job. They'll be lucky to have you. I know it.
Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray to help bring out your best.
How'd it go, Dad?
Honey, I think I'm gonna need more ties.
Yes!
Just for Men. Live forward.
Here's some stories to watch today on ABC News. President Obama shares a beer with Harvard's Henry Louis Gates and Police Sergeant James Crowley in hopes of ending the controversy over their recent racial profiling case. NASA will decide if the shuttle Endeavour is in good enough condition, that is, to make its scheduled return to the Kennedy Space Center tomorrow. And a new report says the reason for the high number of home foreclosures is growing unemployment, more than fallout from the subprime loan debacle.
Finally, from us this half hour, a visit with some furry friends in a battle for survival. They are called lemurs.
You're about to see the dance I was talking about. Now, just like other animals, lemurs are facing a growing threat from humans. Dan Harris reports from a remote area, the island of Madagascar.
If you want to see one of the most rare and beautiful animals on Earth, a creature called the silky sifaka, you need to take a steep, slippery, slug-infested hike
bloodsuckers
miles into the mountains of northern Madagascar. Silky sifakas are one of about 50 varieties of lemur, primates that exist almost exclusively here in Madagascar.
We get very close.
Yeah, they are not afraid of people.
They should be scared. Illegal loggers are rapidly destroying the forests that the lemurs need to survive. In recent months, a military coup has destabilized the government, distracting the police and the army and giving free rein to armed gangs of loggers who are raping the forests for valuable rosewood trees, which are used to make expensive furniture.
They're sitting on the top, just on the top of a tree just there.
Niall O'Connor from the World Wildlife Fund says we may be looking at the last silky sifakas.
If they go away here, they go away.
That's
full
it.
stop.
They're gone. And that's what we have to try and protect.
One place that lemurs are protected is at parks like this one. Here we see bamboo lemurs, crowned lemurs.
Oh, this is playtime fighting, not real.
Brown lemurs.
That's good. Oh!
And my favorite, dancing lemur.
They look ridiculous.
They are adorable and mischievous.
Watch out, dude.
Okay. But conservationists fear that soon zoos may be the only places that the lemur will play. Dan Harris, ABC News, Madagascar.
They dance, they leap, they jump, they play. Was it everything I sold it as?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I liked it.
And
they seemed pretty friendly, too.
They did seem friendly. Cameramen, even. More news coming up.
If you're looking to save money, buy at Antwerpen Hyundai, where Jack always says yes.
ABC2 News on your iPhone. Available at the iTunes App Store now. Be the first to know. Forecasts, video clips, breaking news with just a touch. Download the ABC2 News app for free. Search WMAR only on iTunes.
Click weather on abc2news.com.
Maryland's most powerful radar.
Baltimore's most accurate forecast.
Customize your forecast. Use the interactive radar. Most powerful, most accurate, guaranteed. abc2news.com. See what works for you.
If you owe over $15,000 in taxes, call American Tax Relief.
We owe the IRS $24,000, but we only paid $2,000.
We owe the IRS $200,000, but we only paid $40,000.
Call now for a free no obligation consultation and reduce your tax debt.
We owed the IRS $3 million, but we paid less than $1 million.
Call 1-800-575-7420.
Flat hair is so last year. Imagine being able to create today's hottest hairstyles in seconds. Now you can go from flat to fabulous. Bump Its give you perfect volume and style every time. Bump Its self-primping hair volumizing inserts let you feel confident and beautiful. They're so easy to use. Anyone can be a stylist. Go sexy, elegant, casual, sassy, flirty, and fabulous. Call now. Try Bump Its Setup 2 for just $19.99. And get 2 mini Bump Its free. Use minis to bump your bangs or rock a pony. We'll also add the taller Hollywood Bump It for extra high volume free. Just pay processing and handling. Choose from 4 colors and just follow the easy instructions. Bump it up with Bump Its by Big